be cheating on y'all boyfriend and y'all get pregnant, why do y'all tell on yourselves? Just let your boyfriend be the baby daddy. Just let it be what it is. You don't have to tell him nothing. And when he gets to question you, gaslight him. Like, so you really think this not your baby? And if you have to, even threaten him. Say, if we gotta do a DNA test, my baby not getting your last name. Dudes love for their kids have their last name. Like, they take so much pride in it. They act like it's the most important thing in the world. But telling on yourself is a no. And I know some people are like, oh, well, your child deserves to know who their biological parent is. Do what's best for your child. Some people don't have a daddy in their life at all, and it's their real daddy. It's about the man who stepped up to be daddy. Being a dad is way more than being blood related. But y'all don't want to listen. Y'all just want to get on here crying on the internet because y'all chose the wrong baby daddy. Y'all want to talk about how this dude a deadbeat, but he was never in a relationship with you anyway. So did you really think that he cared about you? You really think that he would care about a child that came out of you? Look, y'all ain't got to take my advice, but ask yourself.
Please
Would
don't.
he be honest with you? If he went and made another baby with somebody else, would he tell you? Or he gonna let you find out on your own?
You know, the worst thing about this type of video is that, aside from the fact that it's public, and I always like to give credit to the content creator, so that link will be down in the description. But aside from the fact that it's public, the worst thing about content like this is that you can actually hear the children in the background. Think about that for a second. Because in the social media era, you know, one day these children grow up and then they see these videos, right? And when they see these videos, hopefully they'll start to realize the monsters that had them, that brought them into this world. And I don't think that every parent should be honored, right? I don't think that everybody needs a microphone. I don't think that everybody needs to be given advice. But we live in an era and an age where people are taking their advice from people that's on the internet that don't have any kind of results. But what they're doing is that they're basically fitting into the narrative and fitting into the stereotype. If y'all want to complain about what happens in life, if y'all want to complain about the culture, or if you're trying to figure out what's wrong with it, look no further than this type of advice right here. I haven't even gotten into the advice yet, but I'm just talking about the people, right? Look at what we're listening to. Look at what is happening. Look at how things are playing out. Yo, we have the largest rate of single mothers in any other culture, more than any other culture. We have people that are in student loan debt that saying that they're the most educated, yet they don't know how to get themselves out of debt, and they don't even realize that they can't expunge it off of their profile through bankruptcy. We have people that'll sit here and be the most promiscuous. Bro, the STI rate in the culture in the community is more than a third world country in the most populous black places like Atlanta and Houston. And these people are basically encouraging people. Now, we know that the way that you build wealth in a community, the best place to raise a child is in a two-parent married household, right? And so these people are having conversations. They are talking about how it is that you need to move as far as not taking a paternity test. And listen to the dumb advice. So let's get into the advice for a minute. The first thing that she says is basically, if the guy wants a paternity test, which I believe that we need to be doing paternity tests at birth, there's nothing wrong with the truth, and people need to be exposed for what it is that they've been doing and dealing with. I believe that we need to have paternity tests at birth. That's just standard. If we don't have paternity tests at birth, that's problematic in itself because it basically allows for things to continue to be the way that they were, as far as all of these times and these places where, you know, people have been able to finesse for a long time. And I don't understand why that's not mandatory. We should have paternity tests at birth. It would solve for a lot of problems. It would solve for child support. It would solve for the trauma. You know, a lot of y'all guys think that it's okay to continue to rock out with chicks or with kids that's not yours because you've been taking care of them for a long time. So then it's say, oh, well, it's not the child's fault. You're right. It's the mother's fault. It's the mother's fault for sleeping around. And then they validate the cheating by saying, well, he wouldn't tell you. He wouldn't tell you what? He can't get pregnant. The most sacred thing, the most valued thing, which is a woman's womb, is the thing that people are basically telling you that you shouldn't pay attention to or you shouldn't be mindful of. Why would they do that? Why would they tell you that you should not find out whether or not a child is biologically yours? And this is what's wrong with the community. So A, we need a paternity test at birth. B, if she tells you, well, if you don't give me a paternity test and the child is not going to have your last name, bro, if you're dealing with a little hood rat like that, then you've been dealing with the wrong person in the first place. And so you probably should have never even got her pregnant. You need to hold yourself accountable. But I will also say that I think that guys are smartening up, right? Guys are smartening up. You can get a paternity test on your own. If you with the kid, all you got to do is swab their mouth and send that joint back in. They make it so easy for you to be able to get a paternity test now. So ignore what she's talking about. It doesn't really matter. If the child is not yours, it doesn't need your last name anyway. And if she's in a space where she's questioning whether or not you want a paternity test of a child, because that should just be standard. And if she's denying it and then threatening you and saying, well, if we get a paternity test, then the child won't have your last name, it's already a red flag, regardless of whether or not the child is yours or not. She already done cheated on you and she for the streets. So, we have to take ownership and personal responsibility of choosing better. Even some of these women are not worth recreational use by itself. And we just got to do better, y'all. We genuinely do got to do better. And it's okay for us to leave some people behind. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Other cultures, because I know we like to compare ourselves against other cultures. Other cultures are not opposed to leaving certain people behind. Everybody that's white, don't mess with everybody that's white. That's clear. Everybody that's Japanese, don't mess with everybody that's Japanese. They outcasts. Everybody that's Asian, everybody that's Hispanic, everybody that's Latino. Like every culture has a subset of people where they deem to be the worst amongst us, and they don't just support them for the sake of supporting them. They make sure that they divest themselves from it. So I'm not saying that this person shouldn't be, maybe she says some other things that's great. I don't know. But all I can go by is the videos that you guys send me so that we can have a conversation about what makes the most sense in the culture. And what I'm telling you is that this is the worst ever. These are the type of people that keep us downtrodden. These are the type of people that keep us under the floor mats. These are the type of people that are the worst for us. And then the worst part about it is that they continue to procreate. Like they continue to have children, they continue to have kids, they continue to do all of this type of stuff. And again, I think that it's unfortunate. It's absolutely unfortunate. So again, I'm going to link back to the content creator in the description. Make sure you guys tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, Teach Henley, 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. I love you. I appreciate you. I would love to see what you guys have to say in the comments. And ladies, if you're trying to wonder why guys are so aggravated and angry, it's because y'all listen to this dumb shit. Y'all think that this is cool. Y'all think that this is valid. Y'all think that this makes sense. It doesn't. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.